your acid into the burette. The burette has a maximum value of 50 mil or 50 cm3. So pour your acid into the burette, but you must ensure that your apparatus is not leaking. So you must have checked your jets properly. Okay, so this is intact. Then you pour your acid into the burette. Okay, that way using your beaker if your hand is very steady, or best practice you can use your funnel. Okay, so I'm putting my funnel in. Okay, so that way while you do that, you have to watch this particular jet whether the liquid is not coming out. So I've checked this and I've assured that my acid is not pouring away, so I can go ahead to pour my acid into the burette. So try as much as possible to be fast and accurate, because you are working with time in an exam. It's not just a demo, you are working with time in an exam, so you need to try as much to be fast. So now I've poured my acid using my funnel. One of the disadvantages of using the funnel is that most students forget to remove the funnel after they have taken their measurement. If you don't remove your funnel, because no matter how, you see have liquid inside your funnel, and while you are doing your titration, they will keep dropping, and it's going to be affecting the volume that you have. So you want to pour your acid, make sure you remove the funnel. Okay, so but if I look at this level, the level is not at the level of the zero mean mark. So I want to ensure it's at the level of 0 mean mark. Okay, so I need to pour out a little bit from here. Okay, but usually I do not want to pour back into my acid because I'll be contaminating this. So I'll just take this. If you have an extra beaker, get an extra beaker to collect that, or you just take a little that away. So you check the level. Okay, so let me use an extra beaker as my wash beaker. Thank you. So I've got an extra beaker as my wash beaker. So I want to pour that out of this. While you do that, make sure your eye is parallel to the level of the lower meniscus. So I'm doing that, and the level is coming out. Just open your tab. Open your tab. Okay, so I've got it to that level. Yeah, good. Okay, so yeah, so let's move closer so that we can see. You can see the level of the meniscus here. So let's zoom closer so that you can see the level of the meniscus. Okay, so here I'm starting at 0. That is the initial level of my acid. Very important, initial level of my acid. So in your record book, which you can see on the screen, you have your initial, you have your final, okay, measurement of acid. So you record 0 on the initial level. 0, okay, as the initial level of your acid. Good. When your acid is set, then the next thing will be to take your conical flask. Okay, take your conical flask and pour in your base into the conical flask. Pour in your base into the conical flask. So what do you use to measure your base? You use a pipette. Okay, so this is my solution B, which contains the alkaline. This is solution B, which contains the alkaline. So you have to be to ensure that you look at the label properly so that you don't make mistakes. Okay, so I will dip my pipette into the alkaline solution. Now, what are the rules in using this pipette working with this? So if I dip this pipette into the alkaline solution, don't let your pipette touch the bottom of your beaker. If it touches the bottom of your beaker and you are trying to use suction pressure to take your alkaline, it's going to form bubbles. Okay, so make sure it's at the middle, just at the middle. It's not touching the bottom. Okay, that's very good, just for your personal safety. So I want to measure 25 ml of my alkaline. So I take 25 ml. Okay, you can see the way my hand is set. Okay, so when you are taking 25 ml, How do you know you have measured exactly 25 mil? On every pipette, there is usually a mark there. That tiny mark tells you that from the tip here to that particular mark is 25 mil. Okay, so while you are holding that, you can see this level is going down. If I release my hand, okay, it keeps pouring into the solution. If I put my hands tightly on this, it's going to stop. Okay, so I'm going to stop it again and let it get to that 25 mil mark. Okay, so you release your hands gradually. Gradually, you have to be as accurate as possible. I'm releasing my hands gradually now. Okay, until I get to that 25 mil mark. Okay, some prefer to use their tongue. Whichever one works for you is fine. Okay, so I'm taking my lower meniscus. So ensure that the level of the meniscus is parallel to your eye. That's the best way to get the accurate result. If you raise it higher like this, okay, you get a wrong result. If you bring it lower, you get a wrong result. So make sure it's parallel. Now I have my base at that particular mark. So I'm going to pour it into my conical flask. Okay, so I release that into my conical flask. Okay, don't bother to push it out because of time, because you might be contaminating that. And when you are done with that, okay, don't blow the last that you have tip there into it. You don't need to blow. It's just let it drop by itself. The best you can do is to dip it inside and let it touch it. It takes the last drop off. Don't blow it into that. So now I have 25 mil of my water, of my base, and I have my acid set for titration. Okay, so the next thing we want to go into will be titrating to get the value of acid that will neutralize the base.